subscription. Even if you're not going to watch it all the time, just subscribe. We would appreciate that greatly. Connor Halley here with you. We got the Duke of Delbert and Brandon Douglas coming around the corner. Josh, Sam, and the show is brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Go check them out. Only available in Leduc. Oilers lost last night. We can touch on that. The NFL, for a lot of you, probably a big game in fantasy football with playoffs right around the corner in the Sports 1440 Fantasy Frenzy League. Team CB Radio needs a big win, taking on MTR, a.k.a. Montana to Rice, for a chance to get into the playoffs. My other two leagues, I'll be there. Do I have a bye week or not? That's what we'll determine in the final week. So if you got any questions for us, let us know. 1-833-401-1440. And remember to email us, Connor at sports1440.ca, Brandon at sports1440.ca. Duke, good morning. What's going on?
Good morning, Connor. I've had an eventful morning.
How so?
Well, I got some Christmas lights put up here in the studio.
Oh, don't they look good?
And all I did was get ridiculed for my techniques of using the materials presented to me.
Tape and lights.
Tape and lights.
What do people want? Who ridiculed you?
Kevin wants more.
Well,
Kevin attacked my personal character in my efforts because the first try was a failure. They fell down. And then on a second effort, I put them back up.
The thing is, our decorations, like we have a budget.
A very limited budget. Very limited budget. So I don't know. I doubt those will last. You can't, our viewers can't see them for the time being until we get some cameras back in operation here in the studio. But that's okay because hopefully by the time we get the cameras working again, we'll have the full setup and it will be flawless at that time.
Wilhauk, for those watching on YouTube, I got to put the banner up and it won't go up.
Way to go, Wilhauk.
Well, oh my gosh, I can see it on the camera now. It's so crooked too. We'll fix that later on during the break here. But yeah, that's eventful. That's only one thing though. Is there more to it?
Well, I also produced a 4-hour radio show.
That pretty much does itself though.
Standard is the standard.
I loved the Dennis Bernstein interview.
As always, Dennis is a legend.
Like that's
so entertaining.
Maybe we should pool our money together and buy Kopitar's house in LA.
Who's we in this situation? You, me, and Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Evan Bouchard.
Those guys could buy it.
Any of these, yeah, but maybe they would bring us in as investors, and then it's like a timeshare. We get it one weekend of the year,
or we're just like the cleaning staff.
Yeah, that's
our role. Well, I was thinking like us and every single listener could probably.
I'm sure there's some listeners out there that would be able to contribute pretty substantially.
So it looks like you were criticizing the text line as well. A poor mechanic blames his tools.
I'm not blaming my tools. I'm telling you what tools I have.
And Ed says, it's too bad you guys don't work in a location where you could get materials. Well, the thing is, like, this is a pretty grassroots operation decorating the studio. We didn't get a lot of help. And it's never been done before.
The most help we got was Troy providing us some batteries.
Troy, the engineer, get this. He walks by. I'm like, hey, Troy, you got any AA batteries? He's like, yeah, reaches in his pocket, pulls out 2.
That's what Josh told me as well. And he's like, yeah, this is all Troy had in his pocket. I'm like, his pocket?
That's what engineers do.
We're just robbing his pocket batteries?
Yeah, apparently. So we might get some more, but we got they look kind of like turquoise lights.
They're green.
Yeah.
Once we turn the lights off, they'll look better.
A green hue. Here's the thing. We got them from the dollar store.
For about $1.
We bought the black. I think it's electrical tape, because it's black and would blend into the soundboards.
I have some black Gorilla tape in my truck. I think that might be a better fastener.
And that's what we'll do in the future. But today, I think it looks pretty
good.
It
is what it is.
It's fine. It's fine. On the show today, we'll talk a little bit about those Edmonton Oilers Duke last night. Here's the thing about a 1-0 loss to the Minnesota Wild, a good team with a good young goaltender.
You're not alone. Many teams have lost by similar margins in recent runs.
If the Oilers were top 3 in their division and you lost that game and maybe you're coming off a couple of wins, you probably wouldn't care. Like, okay, that's going to happen. I think the frustrating thing is just the Oilers season as a whole combined with the game last night where you can't find a way to score the goal. I heard Schlemko talking about the McDavid Draisaitl kind of timeout. Like, yeah, we know. I'm intrigued by that. I want to go take a look at that actually and see what it was like, because I imagine if I was those two guys, two of the best players in the world, I could understand being like, yeah, we know what to do on the power play here. Like, we got this. We've been a part of the best power play in NHL history. They didn't get it done on this occasion, but it's an interesting one for sure. You lose 1-0. Hard to blame your goalie. Kept you within one shot.
But let me tell you what, Connor Halley. Texters on this station today found a way to. And it is wild to say. Spec said he went back and did some freeze frame shots of like the exact point of releasing the shot where the bodies were. Yeah, there was a kind of flyby screen. It was a hard shot. Wasn't posting in like bar down. It was a good shot. It is one that I think you want to see your goalie stop. So where do you draw this line? You did not score a goal in the game. How do you blame your goaltender? You wanted him to get you to overtime at 0-0 and give your 3-on-3 unit a chance. All right, I'm going to call that a stretch to ask your goalie to do that. He just pitched a shutout.
Yeah.
1 goal in the last 120 minutes. That's if you were getting that, you would be very happy. Name any team across the league, regardless of who your goaltender is. But it is one that you kind of say, you'd like that one stop. Came up with some really good saves later in the game on a Wild power play come to mind. Like the Wild had their moments of push. Largely the Oilers controlled the pace. Wallstedt made the save on Hyman, I think, was certainly his best with the right toe, the little kind of spin move in front. Outside of that, I'm not sure if they really made him work for the 33 save shutout. I think there was a lot of freebies in there.
And I mean, I get what you say. Quick shot, from distance. I'm looking at it, maybe a screen, maybe. Okay, not ideal. Don't let another one in, Stu. Will give us a chance.
That's exactly what he did.
He did not let another one in. He gave you a chance, and your offense couldn't muster a goal. So for me, if you want to really be hard on the guy, and it's probably because you're basing it on the entirety of the season, sure. But in the game last night, for me, when you lose 1-0, it's pretty tough to just blame a goalie.
I won't do it.
Garrett said that's what the rookie goalie did. Yeah, he did. Did the Oilers do enough to beat him?
That's a rookie goalie that has had 4 shutouts in 6 starts, is 8-0-2 in his 10 starts this season. Yeah, he's playing really well right now. But guess what? So are the Wild. They did a really good job defensively. The Oilers, what we always say this, Connor, when we talk about the Oilers goaltending. Where have they allocated their resources?
Top end talent, forwards, and a couple defenders.
Not to goaltending.
Yeah.
To a couple point producing defensemen, several scoring forwards, and you get shut out. Well, I'll say it pretty bluntly. That's on them, not the goaltender in last night's specific example. So, but yeah, man, the Wild are a good team. They got a good thing going right now. I like that team a lot after watching them last night. The way they defend with their sticks, with their bodies, a little bit of grit in the bottom 6. You got Kaprizov, you got Boldy. Joel Eriksson-Ek, I said it with Schlemmer and Kevin this morning, I think might now be the newest, most underrated player in the league. Guys like Barkov and Slavin have kind of graduated from that to being well recognized. I think Ek might be that new name.
Well, the Central Division is unbelievable. I think this is going to be like the 5th or 6th straight year where the Central playoffs are just they're going to beat the you-know-what out of each other. And just talking about allocating money to positions. If you want to bring up Jack Campbell, feel free. But it's not on the roster. $3.6 million. Matthias Ekko makes more than them. Darnell Nurse almost makes 3 times as much as them. Evan Bouchard makes 3 times as much as them. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, 3 times as much. Hyman alone makes more than those goalies. Nugent Hopkins alone makes more. Trent Frederick alone makes more than them. Andrew Mangiapane makes as much as them.
Yikes.
So that's just to kind of reinforce what you said about allocating money to the goaltenders. Like half the Oilers roster makes more than those 2 players combined.
Teams have strengths, right? The Oilers' strength is supposed to be their ability to score goals and produce offense. 2 of the best players in the world. It's something they like. McDavid's point totals and Leon's point totals are still very admirable, right near the top of the league, specifically talking about McDavid. But there also comes a point where you need contributions from elsewhere in your lineup and also making the players around you better. That is something those 2 guys have done a lot of in their career. And it's kind of just hitting a bit of a roadblock this season. And we once again saw the coaching staff fall back on loading up a top line in the third period, even though they had played a good game up to that point with the balanced lineup. Now, that may sound a little, contradictory because I just said they didn't get a ton of very good scoring chances. But at a certain point, you have to think sticking with it, believing in what you've deployed up to that point, like something could break through. I don't know. I didn't love the move going to Connor and Leon again in the third period. In a game, you're down 1 goal.
Yeah, I mean,
like if you want to do that in the final handful of minutes, then go nuts. You have them on the ice every second shift.
Dave from Stoney says, and a good point, do you blame a starting pitcher when he allows one run and you lose 1-0?
Some do. People find a way.
If it's Stuart Skinner, they might. Traydan says, just wondering when Holland starts to get credit for atrocious drafting during his tenure. I mean,
did we not break this down the other day?
I feel like we went through that. Yeah. They haven't drafted fantastic. Also pretty sweet seeing the Oilers goal that they could have drafted. Picked lighting up the league. At least Borgo and Munzenberger were worth it. Not like they lacked in net, arguably, since Rolison. Yeah, people probably look back fondly at Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen like, oh, maybe it wasn't so bad. I will say, just
Cam Talbot.
Hey, got him to the playoffs. Random question for you, Duke. Because I don't know. I always like looking back at drafts and like, oh, what if? I think a big one for the Ducks community is like, what if we won that lottery? What if we didn't get Bobby Ryan?
Hey, shout out Bobby Ryan, like 6 straight 30-goal seasons.
Good player.
Really good player.
He
ain't Sid Crosby, man.
We talked about it yesterday on the Gregor Show.
And they had the best chances in that draft. Like, they were the highest odds.
Yeah, well, Pittsburgh needed someone to carry the flame.
Thanks a lot, NHL. #rigged.
Rigged, exactly. Like the Oilers.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted all those picks. When you think of big what ifs, like for the Oilers fans, I know, like you talk about it, Shane Doan is one that always comes up. The Steve Kelly pick. There's lots of them. For me, I always think of trading number 16 for Griffin Reinhart when like Shabbat and Barzell. This is a really good
Kyle
run.
Connor.
Kyle Connor and McDavid's wing. Could you imagine? What is your biggest like draft what if? Because biased Chargers fan, I always say, what if the Chargers, instead of drafting Phillip Rivers, stuck with Breeze and took Larry Fitzgerald? Your offense would have been Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Antonio Gates, LaDainian Tomlinson, Vincent Jackson, with a pretty decent offensive line. Like, could win you a ring? So that's always my what if. Do you have like a what if? Looking back on drafts
for my specific team, or can it be a little more?
I mean, you could do any team if you want, but I was thinking one that like you really like. Man, we messed that one up in hindsight because it's always hindsight.
I've been really lucky. Like Anaheim during my life has been quite good at drafting, right? And sometimes like they've never picked first overall, despite being the best odds a couple different times.
D-man all the time.
They've done a very good job drafting and developing defensemen. The bigger issue has been holding on to them at times and giving them away for maybe not enough. But that's an aside. Like, and this is, I think, a lot of people's biggest one. The Bears trading up to number 2 and drafting Mitch Trubisky in a draft that anywhere between 8 to 10 picks later saw both Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes go to the Texans and Chiefs. Now, Deshaun Watson has not aged very well in a few different areas, but this is a guy that led the league in passing, led his team to the playoffs a couple different times in Houston, and then we know what Mahomes is, right?
Yeah.
And Trubisky, serviceable backup at this stage of his career, seems to be enjoying his time in Buffalo behind Josh Allen on a second stint, but like the Bears, that's just so Bears.
Yeah. And I mean, like, even, more recent, like, Bryce Young is kind of turning it around, but you're like, oh my gosh, and what they gave up for that first overall pick in Carolina.
And once get sticking with my team, Houston, they won their last game of the year on a Hail Mary by Davis Mills with a coach that was to be fired in Lovie Smith. And he basically just did that to try and win the game as an FU to the organization, succeeded in doing so, but it worked out for the best because they didn't have to make a choice. They just took the next best guy available, CJ Stroud. They then trade up and take Will Anderson, who is, looking like a perennial defensive player of the year candidate. Stroud, has had his ups and downs, but still seems like a franchise quarterback. So I've been very lucky in that regard with my 2 kind of number or primary teams that I keep tabs on and root for through a full calendar year. they've done a good job drafting.
It is funny when you look at that 2017 draft for the Chicago Bears, like not very good.
No.
And like Eddie Jackson turned out to be a pretty good player. Tyreek Cohen gave him a couple good years, but Adam Sheehan, tight end in the second round. I think his career, he finishes with 50 grabs, like a tight end from Ashland. I don't know where Ashland is. Didn't work out very well for them. We did have a text going, Tequila, didn't we take Puljujärvi over Barzell? No, took Puljujärvi over Matthew Tkachuk, who allegedly wasn't on their board anyways. It was going to be Pierre-Luc Dubois, I think.
But Dubois went, and then I think Kevin has told this based on what he's heard over the years, is that the other name that they were very interested in was Sergachev.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah,
ninth,
who turned out to be a very good player.
Yeah.
When that happened, I remember I was doing a pregame or a draft show with Dean Millard and Guy Flaming. I'll never forget when Pierre-Luc Dubois went off the board. Just going, Pierre-Luc Dubois? And then like totally ruffled the Oilers draft plans that they go take Jesse Puljujärvi. I had a tweet exchange with one of my friends at that time, and it was just like, Matthew Tkachuk. It has to be Tkachuk. Oilers went a different direction. For the Oilers, how about Taylor versus Tyler? How different would it look if they took Tyler?
Great one. And that was like a legitimate debate about who was going to be first overall. Sagan kind of came on very strongly that year, because going into the year, it was Taylor Hollard, no one. Right? Like it was a de facto number one. Sagan had a great year with Plymouth and put himself in the conversation.
Center, right?
A pick that belonged to the Maple Leafs. Boston gets it was that the Kessel, to follow from the Kessel deal? It's kind of fun. Like I said, so many different ways, what ifs, as the conversation started. So yeah, Jesper Wallstedt played good last night, but as we said yesterday, we don't think, based on reports that we've heard from some viable sources, he wasn't a guy that the Oilers were interested in. Hence trading back.
Crazy. And like a lot of times, like I remember people like, oh, they should have taken this guy. At that pick, so many Oilers fans were saying, why are you not taking Wallstedt? Like,
I remember it. I remember it very vividly in real time, because this is only like 4 years ago. Even my memory hasn't faded quite that badly yet. A few knocks on the head and a few extra pops have not helped me in that regard. But yeah, like my Twitter timeline was just filled with it. It was a buzz, been like, this makes so much sense. This tracks. This lines up. And no, then they trade back, and the fallout from that from Oilers fans online was very notable, very documented.
Yeah. So that's the one where I know a lot of times, like, hindsight, people are like, oh, we should have done this. And that's like what I'm saying right now. That's what we're talking about, just fun ones, like what could have been. That one Oilers fans were not happy with.
Well, yeah, like even a great example is always Ken Holland talking about Pavel Datsyuk, who was a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
It's like, if we knew Pavel Datsyuk, guess what? We would have taken him way before the 7th round.
Exactly.
You do get lucky sometimes, but occasionally it just comes down to like one scout that saw a guy play and standing on a table for him, be like, we need this guy in the system. I can't guarantee it, but it's worth it at this stage. Kid out of Russia, a little on the lanky side, turned into a Hall of Famer.
I mean, I've heard that same story with Antonio Gates,
right,
for the Chargers. Like, if we knew, we would have drafted him. Like, it was a long shot. It worked out. That's the way it goes.
You got to get lucky sometimes.
Those things you can't calculate. Just the intangibles. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more of your text, 1-833-401-1440. It's Fantasy Frenzy, Halley, Douglas. Josh and Sam with you here, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
At GS Construction, we focus on building a culture of collaboration, innovation, and respect. Our teams work together, supporting one another and striving towards shared goals. We're committed to creating a work environment that empowers individuals, values teamwork, and ensures everyone feels respected and safe. With decades of experience in the field, GS Construction prioritizes our people, our culture, and safety. This is what makes us unique. To find out more, go to gsconstruction.ca.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's not lost on me that this radio ad competes with a lot of other dealerships on the air. So what sets us apart? Honesty. At Northgate, we believe in giving you the very best price we can with the most value possible. We aren't giving away free trips or paying off your credit cards, but it is my promise you will get exactly what you paid for every time. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantor, proudly delivering world-class hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada since 2016. I'm thrilled to announce our in-house production of tool components and accessories for faster turnarounds and enhanced versatility. The future is here at Cantor.com.
It's the biggest game of the season. The Edmonton Oil Kings Teddy Bear Toss, presented by The Brick.
Family Fun Sunday, December 7th. Bring your new stuffed bears to the game, and when the Oil Kings score their first goal, the fur will fly onto the ice.
Help Santa's Anonymous collect thousands of bears this holiday season for families in need.
See the Oil Kings in their special Teddy Bear Toss-themed jerseys as they face the Prince Albert Raiders.
Teddy Bear Toss, presented by The Brick. 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon at Rogers Place.
Limited seats remain. Great family entertainment starts at just $20 a seat at oilkings.ca.
Feel a cold coming on? Reach for Oregano 8. With 8 powerful immune boosters like oregano oil, garlic, elderberry, and vitamin C, it delivers fast, effective relief. Available now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month.
I'm making my list, checking it twice. And guess what? I'm giving Will Hawk beef jerky to everyone, naughty and nice. Because honestly, everyone deserves a taste of Alberta's finest, no matter if they've been bad or good. So this holiday season, skip the chocolates and pass on the turkey. Make sure you're Will Hawking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Ho, ho, ho!
Call to place your pre-order today at 780-986-2533.
Breaking down the co-captain, the assistant to the co-captain, the water boy, and the quarterback all in one play. Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas. We have got Josh and Sam here as well. The show brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at willhawkbeefjerky.com. Dive into the inbox for elksnation.ca, 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth double E football coverage you're going to find out there. Duh. Check them out on Google, Spotify, YouTube, or elksnation.ca to get all of their most recent articles. We're talking about this one in the studio, Duke, and it's kind of an interesting decision by the LA Clippers to weigh the guy who are one of your best franchise players. Maybe I think the term here was best franchise player in Chris Paul in his farewell tour. They did it at 3 a.m., which is a little weird, like a drunken move, maybe.
Get your butt on a plane. You're out of here, buddy.
But like, And then, the talk became, well, could Ballmer have stepped in and said, no, we're keeping him around for the farewell tour? I don't know what his role is in football or basketball operations. Is there a chance he was just like, nah, I'm good. You handle this. Whatever you decide to do, I'll support the decision.
Make a basketball decision.
And then I think, well, he might have been involved with Kawhi in that tree planting company. So maybe he does have a hand in it. Either way, do you think shady business by the LA Clippers doing this? Or is that just professional sports and, kind of you have to make those tough calls?
Can it be both? Like I think both.
I guess
I think both are true. Like I do think this is a kind of sleazy thing to do. And like, did you not know what you're getting in Chris Paul at this stage of his career when you brought him back?
Yeah.
I kind of think it was pretty evident to most of us that have watched him play over the past couple of years. He's only three seasons removed from going to the NBA Finals, losing pretty handily, mind you. But the point remains, the Clippers are terrible, and they've tried everything. They just can't. They're just like, we always talk about the Angels and the Chargers and the Ducks, right? These second fiddle teams in their respective markets that they're just that. No matter what they do, no matter how big of a splash they make, how nice of a new building they build, doesn't matter. They're still second fiddle. That's what Clippers are, and now they're playing like it again after a good run of being a very competitive team. I don't know. If I were in the position, I would have kind of deemed this brought to me. I would have been like, this seems kind of unnecessary. We stink. Why not leave him in for keep him on the team for the farewell tour? We're not going anywhere. What's the harm, right? They waive him, they buy him out, they have to pay him the money regardless. You're not saving anything in that regard. I don't see it, but I'm also not in the room. I'm not operating with him on a day-to-day basis. Maybe he's being a little bit of a malcontent. I don't know. I kind of find that hard to believe at this stage, where if I were Chris Paul, I'd be like, I'm just here to ride out the wave, be back in LA. It's the send off. This is it for me. I'm just happy to be still playing.
You guys talked about the rainbow jersey collection. Shaq did it. Others have. So he's got the red for, let's just say, Houston. He's got the orange for the Suns. Yellow, Golden State, yellow jersey. Green. Did the New Orleans Hornets ever have a green jersey? Greenish? Turquoise? What am I missing here? He had purple with
indigo.
The Hornets. That's indigo purple.
Well, those are two different. Indigo and violet are in a rainbow.
Oh, no. Well,
but I would think indigo would classify for the Hornets.
Okay.
They have some indigo-ish.
Anywho, a lot of teams he's played for.
He's well-traveled.
To be safe, like you said, Duke, in the break, got to go to Boston. Got to get green.
Yeah, bring him in.
Got to get the green jersey.
Celtics are having a surprisingly good year.
Bring it in. MTR just with the Clippers. The idiots had Shy and traded him. Yeah, they did.
So crazy. But once again, if
Shy today was not Shy when they had him,
if the rest of the league, including the Clippers, knew that SGA was going to be MVP, possibly back-to-back, NBA champion, all these things, 90-plus straight games, scoring 20-plus points, I think he probably would have been more than middle first-round pick?
11th pick.
11th. Call me crazy. Guys like him, if you know what that's going to be, that's like a first overall pick. But he didn't go first, so they did not know that this is what he was going to be.
If you redid that draft in hindsight, I mean, Luka's first, SGA second, Trae Young third. I feel like Trae Young, is he still good? The
Hawks are.
I'm getting meh thumbs up. I feel like he's not what he once was. Mo Bamba. Good song.
I just remember I was so confused during that craze. I'm like, who is Mo Bamba? He's friends with Sheck West. Who is Sheck West?
So confused. Jalen Brunson was a 33rd pick in that draft.
Brunson?
Yeah.
Good player.
So, yeah, there's some good players. I like going through the NBA drafts because it's only 2 rounds. And, 2 years afterwards, you go to the second round, and like, oh, he's playing for the Shanghai Red Stars or whatever. Like, they're out of the league so quick.
Currently playing Div 2 in Latvia.
Which would be insane, I imagine. Anyways, good Clippers.
Clippers going to clip.
Ryan from Bentley says, seems kind of crazy to pile on any criticism of Skinner's games last night, but that game should have been a collision course for 0-0 overtime. The goal against was pretty bad.
I don't think it was bad. I think it was like one that a goalie should stop.
Yeah.
And
I've seen bad goals.
Those are different things, right? A bad goal is like put in at your feet when you're not on your post properly, or a wiffle ball, the old Mike Smith special from the other end, and then you blame your defenseman in front of you for it. Those are bad goals. That is a goal that you should stop. In like just me watching it, I think so. I get it. I get it. Collision course for 0-0 overtime. Sure, but he made a couple other really good saves in the game too. So I don't know.
The way I look at it, we've seen bad goals from Stuart Skinner. That one doesn't register to me.
Yeah, that's pretty low down the list.
And what do we say? If it's gonna be a bad goal, ideally it's in the first period.
Yeah, you don't want the bad. Like if it's a 0-0 game and he lets that goal in with 3 minutes left in the third,
come on, man.
Then you're kind of shaking your head a little bit more. But I just have a really hard time if I'm pointing fingers in a game that you were the better team largely, and I'm pointing fingers about why you lost the game 1-0. The goalie is. I'd have to get to my second hand of fingers to find the one that's pointing at him.
I'm with you. If you don't like the goal, that's one thing, but you're the Oilers. You have millions of dollars in your offense.
Millions, tens of millions with like a handful of players that are supposed to be offensive contributors and are most of the time. They did not score a goal.
And I think, like, honestly, when you're down 1 after 20, the thing you would tell your goalie is just keep us in it.
Just keep us in there. We got this. We just need you to keep us in this. We'll get one.
And he did that.
And I'm sure that was some form of the messaging at both the first and second intermissions. And he did just that.
MTR had asked, didn't they trade him for playoff P? It was SGA, Danilo Gallinari, 5 first-round picks for the rights. And the rights to swap other 2 first-round picks for Paul George.
Well,
which helped them sign Kawhi Leonard.
And it's funny because we had Andrew Schleck from OKC on Carrie's show yesterday and talking about, because the Thunder still have, between that trade and some others they've executed in their kind of rebuild, like they still have so many picks in the next couple of years. And it's kind of like, yeah, they don't really need to use these. They can probably just trade them for more future picks and just continue to restock the cupboard with like a couple extra guys each year. And this team that is still very young, obviously the best in the league right now, like there's really no end in sight until your premier players hit a block or price themselves out, and we know that kind of does tend to happen. But if you're replenishing your bench players and your rotational guys with picks that you have in spades, that's a pretty good recipe for success for continued competitiveness.
It's hilarious. They have Philly and Utah's first-round pick
this year
protected on their own, but 1-8, 1-4. They have Dallas or Philly swap rights for the second round. Then next year they have their own. Oh wait, no, they have swap rights with the Clippers. Then they have Denver and San Antonio protected. Like it's unbelievable what they've done in OKC. And like you said, like, okay, we don't need it. Let's find a team. We'll trade them for their next year's pick, and we'll worry about it down the road. Like, what a luxury and what a job they have done. They might have they might have the best future in sports.
Well, MTR just asked, is that the worst trade in sports history? I think it's got to be up there. Like, Paul George was still a really good player, but when you're a team that's going that is as all in as it gets, right?
Yeah.
They did not win. Did they get to a conference final? I don't think so.
Cool Clippers?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Because is the Clippers conference final appearance not their only one? Was it not the original Chris Paul and Blake Griffin? Did they not get to a conference final?
Lob City?
Lob City was awesome. Okay. So Lob City never did, but did the Kawhi George tandem get to a conference final? Sam says no.
They went to a conference final in 2020, 2021 and lost to the Suns. So they did.
Man, was the West just really bad that year?
I scrolled through.
The bubble, of course.
in their history. I'm going back a long ways. No, you won no playoffs in San Diego. They went to a semifinal in the 70s. That was it.
Yeah, like the Clippers are Clippers, man. They're good clip.
Yeah. I mean, it's not one of the best. That's for sure. Bad Cap says, hold on. It's better that Stu let in a stinky one early than late. How when he quits letting in a stinky one every 2 out of 3 games? Well, yeah, Bad Cap. It is better that he let it in the first and with 2 minutes left in the third, because he had 2 periods for your team to get it back. He didn't let in another one. So, yeah, it is.
If you want your goalie to pitch a shutout every single night, I have some really bad news for you.
It's not going to happen.
Even Jesper Wallstad isn't doing that.
No, not even.
He's only like every second night.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, hey, it's tough when you lose 1-0 and the goalie, like, I can't even get it saying it was a bad goal. It was a goal. And then we say, well, he only let in 1. And then the immediate response is, well, the other goalie let in none. You're right. Goalie was on his game. Did the Oilers do enough to beat him? Did they make his life tough? I don't think so.
I find the easiest way to sometimes frame these, and someone had texted this in earlier in this show or maybe even the Carey show, like, let's flip it. Let's say Evan Bouchard scored that goal with Zach Hyman doing a little flyby screen on a clean faceoff win. What are we talking? How are we phrasing this? That's what Bouchard's got to do more of. Just get the puck to the net. Good things can happen. Look what happens when you get bodies in front.
Yeah.
It doesn't have
it's
to.
True.
It doesn't take much. You don't got to run the goalie over. You just got to take his eyes away for a second. That's what we would be saying, right? And I'm not defending the goal, because I do think it was a goal that you want your goalie to stop. But your team did not score a goal in the hockey game.
Yeah.
Full stop. That's the end of the sentence.
Well, and Greaterman Jay says, I think we lost last night's game because of poor drafting and player development once again. Wasn't that kid in net supposed to be our pick, but we traded it? But if you didn't lose because of one pick. You lost because you couldn't score a goal. Like, it doesn't matter who you're playing. Score a goal. You have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman. You got 350 goal scorers on your team. Find a way to score. You got Evan Bouchard. You got these guys that can put the puck in the back of the net. And who knows what would have happened if the Oilers draft him? Is he going to play in that game, and on that night he's going to have that shutout? He's going to make that one extra save? Maybe. Did you see his numbers in the AHL last year?
Not good.
Allstat? 879 save percentage with a goals against average of 3.59 in 27 games.
Isn't that wild?
He would have been roasted.
And the Wild were like, well, it's kind of time you get some NHL experience here, because like Fleury retired. They're a team that is up against the cap with, especially when you talk about Kaprizov's new extension moving forward. They're just like, it's time to turn over. And I mean, it's a little bit easier to do that when you have a guy like Gustafsson who has played quite well the past few seasons, right? So you're confident in your starter. This is exceeding anybody's wildest dreams, even in Minnesota. Yeah, they drafted him as a first-round pick with high hopes. But to come in this year and be 8-0-2 with 4 shutouts, if anybody in the Wild organization told you that was their expectations, they're lying.
We just gotta, hey,
why don't you go in there and give us a chance to win on Gustafsson's and off nights? That's the conversation you have with every backup goalie. Give us a chance to win.
Yeah.
And he did last night. He didn't let it go.
He was, hey, credit where it's due. He's been fantastic this year. And to all the people that saying the Oilers should have drafted him, I would agree with you. I'm with you on that one. I, at the time, didn't love the pick. And it's probably only going to look worse the further we go. And then you got the Minnesota Wild Twitter or social media team putting out there with the 20th overall pick, the Minnesota Wild select. Salt in the wounds. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more text. We'll let you know what's coming up on the Jason Gregor Show and the Lowdown with Low Tide. It's Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Tired of the same old holiday tunes? Spice things up with the sound of a Wilhauk beef jerky bag being torn open. It's the carol that everyone wants to hear, promising a chorus of tender, perfectly spiced beef jerky. This holiday season, make sure you're Wilhauking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Call to place your pre-order today at 780-986-2537.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
When you're in need of deeper respiratory support, try NAC 8.5X. 600 milligrams of NAC with 8.5 times better absorption. Available now at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Hey everybody, it's Chief Principe and Jason Strudwick. Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one hell of a trip. Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise, July 2026. Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Book now and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours/Edmonton.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Hey, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca. And let's get to work for you.
This Christmas, Subaru is proud to support the Little Warriors, a national charitable organization dedicated to protecting children, raising awareness, and helping survivors heal from the trauma of child sexual abuse. Join us for a Phil Forster event at Rally Subaru in Subaru City. We're collecting much-needed items like AAA batteries, art supplies, backpacks for kids, winter gear, and laundry essentials. Drop off your donations at either location and be entered to win a free detail package. Thank you for your support from Subaru.
Get the inside scoop for your team on Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
$11:46. Tis the season. Good pull, Sam. Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Sam Willis, and Josh Fenwick with you here. Coming up next, it will be the Lowdown with Low Tide. It's Wednesday, so Kevin McCurdy on the program. Of course, they will recap the Oilers' loss. LT will share his thoughts on their performance last night. And then from 2 to 6, it is the Jason Gregor Show. Today with Jason, we'll have Mike Rupp on, Tyler Yaremchuk. It'll be the business of sports with Rich Winter, longtime NHL player agent of Ray Sports. Spec will be by, and a few other ones. We'll also have Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. And then also, it is day 3 of the month of giving. We had the sick package yesterday from Astoria Light Company. Man, if I was a little richer, I would have put in some
a little
bids on
richer.
that one.
It's implying that you are rich.
A lot richer. If I was rich, I would have got in on that one because the bids were coming in hot and heavy. And obviously, we're raising money for Santa's Anonymous. So it was an amazing charity.
I'm rich too, Connor, but in different ways.
In love.
I'm rich in life.
In cats.
I am.
This man's got 2 cats.
I'm cat rich.
Today, we've got 2 packages, Operation Friendship, and we're also going to raise some money for, I don't want to get it wrong, the Brightview breakfast program.
Nice.
So making sure kids
Great
have food before school. Package 2. We'll start with that one because we're already up to $2,000. I believe Pillman got the bid in. It's 10 rounds of golf at the Ranch Golf and Country Club with a power cart. Need that. And use of the driving range before each round. We went out for our fantasy football draft golf tournament, which is just one round. And everybody, well, not everybody, but a good chunk of people were warming up. I was like, that's how I know we're aging.
That's how you know it's serious.
I was like, I'll just grip it and rip it. Haven't swung since last year. You also get 1 round of golf with our head pro, Sean Piercy. Tips, potentially, if you want them. He's also going to be buying lunch and beverages. And you also get a round 4-2 with Murray McCourt, GM of the ranch, and our very own Kevin Carius. A spirited match, some say, that could include some wagering and lunch and beverages on Murray and Kevin.
Yeah, I'll say this. Kevin has treated me to some rounds of golf on a number of different occasions, several times at the ranch. Beautiful course, beautiful facility. Murray's great. Pierce is great for those specific rounds. But
you get some good stories.
Yes, a lot. And Kevin, he's a lot of fun, right? You hear him on the show, and there's been so many times calls for the Kevin Carius After Dark show because he'll start a story and be like, actually, I can't tell that story. Not fit for AM radio.
Yeah.
You get to hear those when you're out on the links with Kev, and he's got all of his jokes and his little one-liners and stuff. Really can't recommend it enough. And maybe if Kevin is really feeling generous, I'll come caddy.
Oh,
I'll come caddy for 2K.
That'd be all right.
At a course that he's played 1,000 times and I've only played like 6, I'll be offering him tips on what shot to make.
Maybe you'll caddy for the winner if they want it.
Yeah, I'm fun. I'll crack your beers. I'll make sure they're fresh.
Yeah.
I'll clean your balls.
2 included? Optional.
That's included.
No, right.
But remember, you have to tip your caddy.
Yeah, I mean that's. Oh my goodness, the bids are flowing in right now. the Duke will
Duke's ball
clean your golf balls.
Thank you.
Just quickly, Ryan Bentley, or from Bentley, says you could make an argument that poor drafting and player development resulted in them ultimately getting McDavid. Kind of a vicious cycle, really.
Yeah. Well,
so there you go.
That's the decade of darkness. Just I think that's its entire tagline is it got us McDavid.
Also a package today. This one is this is another one I could use. Let's be real here. It is the ultimate made-to-measure experience. $1,500 towards 2 outfits handpicked by Sterling Dirk to fit your style. Obviously fashionable. Options of blazers, shoes, jeans. You get an additional $500 in gift cards towards shirts, ties, or accessories from Mr. Dirk. Whatever you want. All tailoring or clothes included, and an in-store consultation with Sterling to ensure you get it all proper. And you know what? Kevin Carius was telling us yesterday he's got like thousands of dollars worth of ties. Maybe he'd even throw in a tie.
Kevin Carius game-worn tie.
Can't guarantee that, but maybe he would. And we'll see. Maybe Sterling would have to rate his ties.
Well, yeah, because Carius, he says, he's like, I have all these ties from his TV days. He's like, I'm never going to wear any of these ever again because even when he goes down to Oilers practice games and stuff, he's a tie-off guy now. I think he said Rashog told him that his very first game since joining Sports 1440. He's like, Kev, what are you doing? It's like, what? He's like, you're a radio guy now. You don't got to wear a tie.
Ties off.
Ties off.
Husk says, BD just got back to the radio. You'll clean whose balls?
Well, whoever the highest bidder.
For his services. That is the way the Duke does it. Also, Eden sent in a picture of his lasagna from yesterday.
Looks good.
Looks good. That cheese is just cooked to perfection on top.
Perfection is exactly how I would describe the top of this lasagna.
Not bad at all. So if you want to get your bids, and you can do so, 1-833-401-1440. If you wanted to send one for the golf experience at the ranch, 10 rounds of golf, and then an extra round with head pro Sean Piercy, and another round with Murray McCourt and Kevin Karras. 1-833-401-1440. Right now, Pillman has that at $2,000.
Correct.
The other package will start at 2:00 with the Jason Gregor Show. And I believe Kevin said the round would be Sunday at 11.
It's a great time.
Especially in the summer. No football. Great way to wrap up a weekend.
If the Elks are playing on a Sunday afternoon, Kevin Karras' favorite game slot, you have time to play around and still make your way down to Commonwealth to take it in.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Perfecto.
Team Dean says, stop the flyby screen. It was 20 feet in front of him, and he cleared before the puck left his stick. It was a 40-foot slapper that he froze on. And Team Dean, I'm not going to be on the flyby screen team. I don't think that was a huge one. It was just not the best goal. But we've seen worse. There was probably 10 worse in the NHL last night, in my humble opinion.
I'm not going to defend the goal. It was a goal. I've said it 10 times already on this show, let alone the previous 4 hours. It was a goal you want stopped. It's not the reason you lost the game.
Camrose Chris, forwards failed to execute. End of story.
Like, are we crucifying Zach Hyman? Great move. You just got to, like, you got to go an inch more to your left around the Stocher's toe, or you got to elevate.
Yeah.
That was as premier of a scoring chance as you had all night, and you didn't cash it in.
Gregor's been hammering that for a long time.
Trade him.
If you are a forward and your job's to score and you have a chance and you don't, there should be a little criticism.
That is equivalent to letting a goal you should have stopped.
Do your job.
A goal's worth the same, being scored or scored on.
BG says, when you don't score a goal, it's not on your goalie. And that's kind of...
I think that's our overarching.
That's the whole point of this. Anything else going on tonight, Duke? What are you watching?
Ducks and Mammoth.
Oh.
Nightcap's going to be a late one for me, but hey, I'm willing to tough it out. I'll get maybe a Pepsi Lime zero sugar in me. Help keep me up for the late one. I think I'm going to go do some walking on the treadmill. My knees feel really bad. I played goalie last night down at Nate.
For the Ukes.
Yeah. The way I played last night, I don't think the Ukes 7th developmental league team, if that existed for college sports, would be interested in having me. It was a rough night for your boy. Talk about how Stu Skinner didn't just kind of whiffed on that one. I whiffed on almost everyone last night. I don't know if you played.
That's why you're so soft on Stu.
Yeah,
right now.
I feel bad.
I mean, I've seen worse.
And you know what makes it worse? So I'm having a rough night. Just like, it's one of those nights. You're not feeling it. And I also had to wear a couple right in the face. Then the guys are like apologetic. It's like, well, it's a hockey game. Like, get hit in the head. It's not a big deal. Like, I wear a helmet for a reason. But it just hurts that much more when the real thing that's hurting is your pride.
Yeah.
Because you're just having a bad night out there.
That's a save, though.
It does count.
Counts as...
And usually no one will put in the rebound because everyone's like, oh my God, is he dead?
You just flop. Also, Tyler Sagan going to miss the Earth at torn ACL. Not good news for the Dallas
Tough
Stars.
for the Stars. I mean, they're moving along as pretty well. They've been without Duchesne, without Harley. This is a tough blow, but hopefully those other two guys can get back in and help plug some holes for them.
Up next is Lowdown Flow Tide, followed by the Jason Gregor Show. Monthly giving rolls on from 2 to 6. Keep it tuned here on Sports 1440, watching, streaming, however you're doing so. We appreciate for everyone here. Have a great afternoon. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again. Right now, though, let's get to a Sports 1440 update with Sam Wellness, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Only available in Leduc.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Five games in the NHL tonight as the Stars and Devils get things rolling, followed by the Jets and Canadiens. Sabres head on down to Philadelphia to take on the Flyers. Mammoth and Ducks squaring off. And wrapping things up tonight, the Capitals head on down to San Jose to take on the Sharks. In the PWHL, Vancouver heading over to Boston to take on the Fleet as the New York Sirens take on the Seattle Torrent. In the NBA, couple of games on today with Portland and Cleveland tipping things off, with Denver and Indiana following up right after. San Antonio heads on down to Orlando to take on the Magic. The Clippers head to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. Charlotte makes their way to the Big Apple as the Knicks host them there. Brooklyn heads to Chicago to take on the Bulls. Rockets hosting the Kings. Milwaukee Bucks take on Detroit at home. And wrapping up the night, the Miami Heat head to Dallas to take on the Mavericks. And shocking news out of the Clippers organizations as they have waived future Hall of Famer Christopher Emmanuel Paul. Coming up at the top of the hour, it's the Lowdown with Low Tide here on Sports 1440. And this has been your Sports 1440 update with Sam Wilmus.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free